You are being manipulated every day, not by strangers, not by criminals, but by coworkers, friends, family members, and people who smile while talking to you. The most dangerous manipulation does not sound aggressive. It sounds reasonable, calm, logical, and that is why it works. This video will show you 10 psychological deception techniques that people use in normal, everyday conversations without raising suspicion. Once you see them, you will never hear conversations the same way again. Introduction: manipulation is not always loud. In fact, the most effective manipulation is subtle, invisible, wrapped in politeness. Philosophers like Machiavelli, psychologists like Robert Cialdini, and behavioral scientists have studied this for decades, not to turn people into villains, but to expose how influence truly works. Let us begin. Technique 1: the false choice illusion. This technique works by giving someone two options, when in reality both options benefit the manipulator. Example: imagine your co-worker says, "Do you want to finish this report today? Or would you rather stay late tomorrow?" Notice something important. The option to say no never existed. Your brain accepts the frame and chooses between two losses. This technique is widely used in sales, parenting, and management. Why it works: the human brain hates open conflict. When presented with limited options, it assumes cooperation is expected. You feel autonomous, but you are not. Technique 2: emotional contamination. Instead of arguing logically, the manipulator injects emotion into the conversation. Example: a friend says, "I thought you cared about me, but I guess I was wrong." No request was stated. No argument was made. Yet guilt appears. Now you feel pressure to prove something. Why it works: emotions bypass rational thinking. Once guilt or shame enters, logic shuts down. The conversation is no longer about facts. It is about emotional repair, where it's common relationships, family dynamics, passive-aggressive environments. Technique 3: the authority borrowing trick. This technique uses borrowed authority to silence doubt. Example: Samin says, "A psychologist once told me that people who disagree with this are insecure." Now disagreement feels like self-exposure. You are no longer debating an idea. You are defending your identity. Why it works: humans instinctively obey authority, even imagined authority. The brain does not verify sources under social pressure. Source: Stanley Milgram. Obedience to authority technique. For strategic confusion, the manipulator overwhelms you with information, not to explain, but to exhaust. Example: during an argument, the person rapidly shifts topics. That's not the real issue. The real issue is what happened last month. And honestly, if you look at it from another angle, you feel lost, mentally tired. Eventually, you agree, just to end the discomfort. Why? It works: mental fatigue reduces resistance. Confusion creates submission. Cognitive load theory. John Sweller. Technique 5: the victim reverse self-manipulator harms you, then portrays themselves as the victim. Example: story. You confront someone calmly. They respond, "I can't believe you're attacking me like this." Now, you are apologizing. Why it works: humans fear being seen as cruel. The manipulator weaponizes morality. If this makes you uncomfortable, it means you are learning something important. Awareness is power. Technique 6: social proof manipulation. Known of the oldest tricks in human influence is this: if everyone thinks this way, maybe I'm wrong. Example: a manager says to you quietly, everyone agrees that this project needs to be done this way. You're the only one hesitating. You feel isolated, different, exposed, even if no one else was consulted. Why it works: humans evolved to survive in groups. Isolation once meant death. So the brain reacts fast, conform, or be excluded. This technique does not require facts, only the illusion of consensus. Where it appears: workplace pressure, social media, family expectations, group decisions. Stoic insight. Marcus Aurelius warned, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. The crowd has no authority over your reason. Technique 7: artificial time pressure. Gensi is a weapon. When time is compressed, critical thinking collapses. Example: a person says, I need your answer now. If you don't decide, the opportunity is gone. Your heart rate rises. Your mind narrows. You choose speed over wisdom. Why it works: the brain under pressure switches to survival mode. Long-term thinking shuts down. Manipulators know this. Machiavellian note: Machiavelli observed, power is often gained not by better arguments, but by faster decisions forced on others. Defensius Stoic pauses. Always. Machiavelli, the Prince technique. 8: false intimacy. This technique creates emotional closeness to fast. Example: Samin says, I don't usually tell anyone this, but I trust you. Now you feel bonded. Now you hesitate to say no. Why it works: trust activates loyalty instincts. The manipulator shortcuts connection. Stoic warning. Epictetus taught, if you wish to improve, be content to appear foolish or stupid. True trust is built slowly. Anything rushed hides intention. Epictetus, Discus Technique 9: moral framing. This is one of the most dangerous forms of manipulation. It turns disagreement into immorality. Example: Samin says, only selfish people think that way. Now the argument is no longer about truth, but about your character. Why it works: humans fear moral rejection more than factual error. The manipulator controls the frame. Nietzsche's perspective. Nietzsche warned, morality is often used not to elevate humanity, but to control it. Technique 10: silence as control. Silence is not always peace. Sometimes it is punishment. Example: you express concern. The other person goes silent. No response. No closure. Your mind fills the void with anxiety. Why it works: the brain hates uncertainty. Silence forces you to chase resolution. Stoic counters. Stoic does not beg for reaction. Silence loses power when you stop needing validation. Manipulation works best on the unaware. Once you see the pattern, the spell breaks. You do not need to dominate conversations. You need clarity. Power begins when you slow down, you refuse emotional hooks, you trust reason over pressure ears. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength equals you are not weak for being influenced. You are human. But from this moment on, you are aware. And awareness is the beginning of freedom.